I decided today to go do some plein air painting. So after lunch, I got in the car and I drove out to the side of the lake where there's a small provincial park. And these are the items that I took with me: a pencil case, a little set of paints, a new little sketchbook I got, and 2 water brushes, plus a couple of micron pens and an eraser. I also brought a pencil, hence the eraser. I brought my little beach chair and found a place on the grass. It was a calm day, fairly calm, and just a light wind off the lake. And there was hardly anybody there because it was a weekday. So I got out my things and had taken also a clipboard, and I clipped my little sketchbook to it on one end and then put the elastic that came with the sketchbook around the other end. And this is my view, so I had to choose exactly where I wanted to focus my attention. So I decided to just do a panorama across the whole of the open book, as you can see here. And I didn't draw in pencil, I actually did all the drawing in pen. It's mostly just fairly sketched in, and especially because there's lots of trees and leaves and waves and all those kind of things. So I wanted to keep it fairly simple. And so I got out my paints and my water brush. These paints I have used very little, so I was a little bit frustrated with them, to be honest, because they have so many blues that are almost the same, but not that many really leaf greens. But I managed to do it anyway, and I thought I would just show you this angle because it was a little bit hard to set up my camera and get a good angle on everything. And basically this is just an outdoor sketch. I also found it frustrating that the water brush never seemed to have enough water coming out, and so sometimes I had to really squeeze it out to get the paint out, and then sometimes it was suck paint back up into it, which was a little bit frustrating. And I kind of wish that I just brought my brush, just a regular watercolor brush and a cup of water. So this was one of my first times actually getting out and doing plein air painting, and I wanted to try it to see if I even like it, which is not a bad thing to do, just to try things and see if you like them. And I learned a few things. One, I forgot to bring a rag, so I had one tissue in my purse, which I used to dab my brush on. And you have to squeeze the brush to get the paint out of the bristles, and keep squeezing until there's no more paint. So it basically washes the brush from within. And I tried to get a lot of variation in the leaves of the trees because they, for one thing, they were different species, but also just to make it a nicer image and a nicer sketch. I sped up the video because there's a lot of paint mixing and trying to make things work. I do like the little palette a lot, actually. It's very handy, but I also have little boxes of paint that would have also worked just as well. This one has lots of choice in colors, which I really like, and it's pretty handy to use. It has a little mixing pan. It comes with its own water brush, which I wasn't using. I was using a different one, but you can see where I'm tapping it, trying to get more water onto the paint pans, and then going back and forth to try and pick up more water. Yeah, it was a little bit frustrating. Once I put paint on all of the little picture, I decided just to clean everything up and call it a day. So my paints go back into the little box that they came in, which is handy. I looked at my watch and it was time to go home. Actually, I had to look twice because I realized it had stopped. It needed a new battery. So I just packed everything up, cleaned up my brush, squeezed out the paint again, popped the top on it, and put it in my little pencil case, which is very handy. And then I just took a little sweep with the camera around the park. And you can see the fall leaves, and I think that's a mushroom there. There was some mushrooms and toadstools coming up because we'd had a lot of rain. Really peaceful. It was lovely to be there, and I'll probably do it again, but now I know what I need to do just to be a little bit more prepared. Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so you get the notifications, and use the link that you see on the screen to check out my courses. And I'll see you next time.